Well, welcome back to Culture Makers. My name is Vince. This is Ariana.
Hey.
How are you guys doing out there? We're talking all things Nick Cannon, James Bond, tornadoes, and more. So glad you guys are here. Hop on in where we answer your questions and have a good old time. Ariana, you doing good today?
I'm doing really good. What about you?
Man, I'm fantabulous.
Fantabulous.
You know, Megan Thee Stallion just graduated.
I saw that and I thought it was awesome.
Right. And I think
So
that's
cool.
a great example of you, even though you're rich, have records, have rewards.
Yeah.
In life, you should continue to strive forward and to grow and want to be a learner. So I just think that's a great example of that. I don't listen to all the music.
So cool. Right.
Because I don't necessarily know if that's the example I want for me.
Sure.
But hey, way to set a great example. So there's always good you can look for and everything.
Go Megan.
Now, some of these next things aren't as exciting as that. Some tragedies. So prayers and thoughts go out to Nick Cannon family.
Yes.
As you know, lost his son. It's tragic. It kind of came out of nowhere. But man, it's just a reminder that in life, no matter who you are, tragedy can strike, and that we need love, and we need to surround our loved ones and reach out to people. So Nick Cannon, we love you, man. We're praying for you. And then the families in the Midwest, 18 tornadoes, crazy devastation that happened. I mean, it was just out of nowhere. No one really thinks about tornadoes this time of year. But thankful for like partners that we have like Convoy Hope.
Yes, so thankful.
That's what they do. When tragedy strikes, they show up, they're there, they're on the ground, providing much needed resources from food, clothing, water, to shelter, to even medical care for people who need that in need. So
yeah,
that's
just
good.
really praying for them and especially also for the emergency workers like firefighters, police officers that are going out and searching for people's loved ones, and I've just been praying a lot for them too as they continue that search.
Yeah, it's insane. It's crazy. Now, on a little bit different topic, different twist, are you a Harry Potter fan?
No.
Okay, me neither. Never watched it.
I've watched them. I like them. I just feel like, you know, that's one of those things where if you say you're a Harry Potter fan, there are some Harry Potter fans, you know? And I just don't categorize
I hear it's
myself
coming
as
back.
that. I like being a Harry Potter
like
fan.
the reunion or the adults or something like that, but I could be wrong.
Like
maybe
a
I'm
movie?
starting. Yeah, like I could be starting a rumor, but that's just I thought I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yes.
Well, I feel like that's a big thing to say. Like some people
Well,
are
if I'm
really
wrong, let me know in the comments because you guys are on top of it, or we'll just cut it out. But anyway, James Bond
Yes.
has from day one been played by a male, a dude. And going forward, anyone might play James Bond.
Yeah, I am actually pretty excited about that. I saw the latest James Bond, and I thought it was a really cool idea. Like, why not? Why can't it be a woman? Like, that's cool.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So, you know, James Bond, or Jamie Bond, or
Janine Bond.
Janine Bond, or Jubilee. I think that's cool and exciting.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens because you don't know. Again, it's like.
But some people might have some mixed feelings about that too. Like it has been a tradition, you know, like James Bond has been like a certain type of actor. And so, I don't know.
It's interesting when characters have existed for some time as male, female, black, white, Asian, that when anytime you change that people sometimes get up in arms. And so sometimes I feel like I understand that because if the character they're playing, let's take like say a Mulan, it just wouldn't make sense to randomly replace that character with someone of a different race because where the movie set. You have to it just be a different movie altogether.
Right.
But sometimes it's well, James Bond needs to be British. I don't know if we can change that part. Like just as long as James Bond's
That's
British.
Just part of the James Bond package.
I mean, you can't really be in MI6 and not be British.
Sure.
Right. But British Secret Service, Special Intelligence, kind of like our CIA type organization, you know, spy movies. Yeah,
we're all learning something.
But as far as the character, you know, it could probably be anyone, as long as they're British or have a British accent. Because we know movie people play all kinds of people, and you'll be like, I thought they was British. So do you have the ability to do accents?
Little bit.
Oh.
That's my only one. That's really horrible. I tried though. What about you?
That's not bad. No, I do not have the ability.
Oh, come on. I'm just embarrassing myself.
Friend, this is horrible, but anytime he's around someone who has an accent, he starts talking like them.
Oh.
So if he's around someone who has, like, say, a Spanish accent or a British accent, or Australian accent, they're talking and he just starts doing it, and it's almost like he can't help it. Have you ever met anyone like that?
No.
It's the weirdest thing. It's, yeah.
That's very
I think our camera person is pointing, saying that's what she does. It's like it's uncontrollable. Yeah, maybe it's just some kind of empathetic response of like...
Well, people do say, you know, like, if you spend so much time around someone that you start to, like, dress like them and act like them. So maybe it's like that. Just like super accelerated. They just really...
Like in the instance.
Yeah.
You're like, hello. And you're like, hello. And you're like, whoa, I don't... What? Well, as you know, guys, we love to answer your questions. So continue to ask the questions below. We're going to hop into a couple of your questions. This one is from Michael Brown, who says, what are some ways I can lead my friends to the Lord?
I love that question. I think for me, getting to know people and getting to know how God has wired them is a way that I personally like to lead people, to show them more of who Jesus is. I think there's so many countless ways though. Like everybody is wired different, has different gifts. And I really think that God has made us uniquely so that we can uniquely lead people to him, which is super cool that God's intentional in that way when he pieces us together.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think the best thing is your personal story and how you live your life.
Yeah.
I think when the way you live your life is unique and different and stands out, I think people look at that and see, man, I want some of that. Because we all know, it doesn't matter who you are, if you live on this earth, you go through hard times. Doesn't matter your race, where you're from, your income level, just difficult times. But as far as a Christ, it's not that we don't go through difficult times. It's our response to those. It's how we love and care for people. The Bible says that they will know you by the way you love. And so when people see you and the way you treat people, they can't help but want to be a part of that. I think that, to me, is one of the best ways to do it. And then obviously there's the direct approach, not the mean approach, the direct approach, which is, hey, join me for church. Read a Bible plan with me. Watch this message my pastor did, or lots of different options, and inviting them to be a part of something. But the greatest one is the life that you live. How does your life look uniquely different than those who don't follow Jesus? And in such, are you living in a way that says, hey, man, tell me more, your story? Because I think your story is the most powerful thing that you can share with anyone else. And when it has to do with Jesus.
And don't be afraid to be bold too. There's some times where just asking somebody who you normally wouldn't, like, how can I pray for you? And what's going on in your life is super impactful.
What's the most bold thing you've ever done for your faith?
Something that really got me out of my comfort zone was one time I was at a gas station in the middle of nowhere on a road trip, and I had to just stop in and go pee. And everybody does that. And I was, in there, and God was like, you need to ask this lady who's working at this gas station how you can pray for her. And she looked really tired or sad maybe. And I am an introvert, and the thought of that really made me uncomfortable at first. But I gathered up all of the courage and boldness that I had, and I walked up to her and I asked her. And to be honest, she didn't share with me like her whole life story. It wasn't like this huge moment where she asked me about Jesus, but she did kind of well up with tears in her eyes. And she's like, man, I'm just having a hard day. I would really love for you to pray for me about that and my energy. And I got to pray with her in that moment. So for me, that was a pretty bold moment.
That is bold. Way to go. Yeah.
What about you?
I've asked people to pray for them, just kind of like I've been walking, I'm like, I should pray for this person. But it's weird because I always feel like I've closed my eyes and I'm like, man, is this person going to jump me? Is somebody going to jump me from behind? I don't know. I mean, that's probably, most people were probably worried about, like, what if someone sees me? I'm like, what if someone jumps me? What if someone's like, that guy's not paying attention? Let's take his wallet. Like, I don't know. But that's kind of a bold thing. And then just randomly gifting people things that you see. in public, not like someone who's necessarily, like you see a homeless person, they have a sign, they're asking for money, but just some person you don't know, and you're like, hey, here you go. Here, like one time, there was a guy, he was clearly working, and I was like, hey man, it's a random question, what size shoe you wear? And he just told me, I was like, oh great, and I took my shoes off and gave it to him right then and there.
Wow.
And he was like, oh, thank you.
That's really cool.
And so just, little things like that just, yeah. But really the ones that just really make me nervous are when I pray for people and I close my eyes and I feel like I'm going to get jumped.
That is a really interesting thought.
Does anyone else feel like that when you randomly pray for someone? You're like, you're like I believe that God's going to protect me, but maybe because I used to be in the military, I just got this So next up we have Brooke. Brooke wants to know if we have any tips on managing your time. She is juggling her relationships with God, school, rest, etc.
Ooh, I feel like everybody kind of has to learn like what works for them with time management. Like I know a bunch of different strategies or different ways people do it. For me, I really value like blocking out chunks of time of my day. So I'll like go into my phone, like the calendar app, and I'll give myself 30 minutes or 40 minutes to work on a project, or right when I get up in the morning, I know like that is my prayer time, that is when I'm in the Word, and then I can move on to something else. So I think of like the 3 or 4 biggest things that I want to accomplish by the time my head hits the pillow to go to bed, and I like give myself blocks of time to get those things done. So that's just what works for me. But I know because I'm your friend, you work super differently than me with time management. So what do you do?
I saw this as an example. There was a jar, and outside the jar there was like these big rocks, some small rocks, and some sand, right? And so the big rock represented the most important things in life, the small rocks represented the medium things in life, and the sand represented like things that are important but not like ultra important. And the person talking was like, can you make all this fit? And so they put the sand in first, and they put the small rocks in first, and they put the big rocks in last, and it just wouldn't all fit. But then they were like, what if we put the most important things first? And there's nothing more important as a follower of Christ than your relationship with God. Right. So God first, and then the medium things, and the small things, then it all fit, right? And so it's all about order of importance. And so for me, this might sound strange, but the actual way I order my time maintenance is by putting God first. So when I wake up first thing in the morning, it's reading the Bible, doing my Bible study time, listening to worship music, even making sure to be intentionally take a Sabbath. So like once a week for 24 hours, I intentionally just rest. And it just shows God that like, hey, I don't need this time to get all this work done if I just rely and trust on you. If I put God first, I just know it's a clear difference in my day and how things flow and how things work out versus we all know people, but the first thing they do in the morning is scroll on social media. Oh, yeah. I'm not here to knock social media, but on the list of things that are important in your life, right, I would put social media maybe towards the bottom of that list. But I have been that person. Right. Sometimes I don't want to be that person. And my alarm goes off and I'm just like mindlessly like, Instagram. And then I'm like, what am I doing? So yeah, I'm gonna put the big rocks first, and the big rocks in your life are Jesus, and I think it all works out. So good. So remember, if you guys have questions, no matter what they may be, ask them in the chat, comment below, let us know. We're so glad that you guys are here. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for sharing. You guys are the best, and we'll catch you later. Yeah, see you later. See you guys.